NVIDIA is going into a major panic right now, and it's going to cause them to do one major thing. This is probably going to have massive amount of effect on the GPU market for the rest of the year. Let's go over a little bit what has happened. The market right now is in complete disarray, of course, mirroring everything else that's going on in the world. This certainly isn't going to be just GPUs, even though they're falling harder and faster than we all imagined. We thought this was going to happen towards maybe the end of the year, maybe when proof of stake happened with Ethereum or something like that, but that hasn't even happened, and that's even been delayed, and the market has collapsed on itself. Let's go over quickly what happened. Beginning of the year, prices were really high still, availability was tough. Somewhere, maybe around April, we started seeing more GPUs in stock, people just weren't buying them, and after the stores were really loaded with GPUs, we're talking about they couldn't even clear inventory, prices finally started to go down. Priced pretty good is a Windows CD key. Today's video sponsor is going to be VIP-CDKdeals.com. Very simple process. If you use my code CC20, you're going to get a nice discount at checkout, and it's going to get rid of that annoying Windows watermark when it's not activated. So check out CDK Deals for your CD key needs. And remember, it will work with Windows 11. So in terms of price to performance, first we saw NVIDIA had this sort of push to sell GPUs. They called it restocked and reloaded. Of course, by the time they did that, nobody really wanted to buy GPUs anymore. They should have done this last year or before. Who knows if they flooded the market? That's what it looks like happened really. If you look at the amount of GPUs that all of a sudden entered the market, right when perhaps Intel was going to release their GPUs, right around the time that AMD refreshed their RDNA 2 GPUs, such as the 6950 XT, which from me looking at stores doesn't look like it really sold very well at all. They came in just a little bit too late, just a little bit too expensive to really be relevant, and of course with a minor boost in performance. So maybe NVIDIA released a bunch of GPUs just to really crush the competition, and we could say that definitely worked, and NVIDIA themselves are getting crushed now because nobody is buying GPUs. Even the highly sought after Founder Edition GPUs, which are the lowest MSRP GPUs you can actually buy, these are going to be found at Best Buy. They've been consistently in stock. Of course, first it was the 3090 Ti that nobody wanted, very expensive. 3080 Ti was the second Founders Edition to really stay in stock long term, but now we're even seeing 3070s and 3080s stay in stock much longer than before. Previously, if one of these hit your local Best Buy, you had maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes before you can even buy it. Now, they've stayed in stock, sometimes 2 or 3 hours, sometimes the whole day. Sometimes they'll have multiple GPUs, such as 3070s. I've heard of my viewers getting them recently, so definitely something that changed. It shows you that even at MSRP, people don't really even want to get these GPUs anymore. One of the biggest things that this is going to cause NVIDIA to do, this is going to be their major action. More than likely, this is going to cause a delay in the release of the RTX 4000 GPUs. At first, we heard rumors that they were going to come as early as July, maybe with even a very early announcement, and then we would see maybe the 4090 first around, August. September, we might see like a 4080 or 4070, but now from some recent rumors, it sounds like those dates are being pushed further and further back. That makes complete sense. For example, if you're NVIDIA, you're probably panicking right now because stores are just full of RTX 3000 GPUs. Nobody is buying 3080 Ti's, 3090s. In fact, even Best Buy, if you're a Total Tech member, they started discounting a lot of these GPUs fairly significantly. For example, I took a look at the 3090 Ti, which nobody is buying. Originally, MSRP of $1,099, and this one just came out a few months ago. We have not seen any GPU discounts for literally years now. In fact, prices have only gone up. So this 3090 Ti is now $1,799 if you're a Total Tech member at Best Buy. That's pretty incredible that the fastest GPU you can buy is already being discounted just a few months after its release, showing that nobody is buying it and it's readily in stock and has been so pretty much ever since it was released. So Even other GPUs that are more market friendly, like 3060 Ti's and 3070s, they're also being discounted across the board, and people just are not buying them. AMD GPUs in a lot of cases are faring even worse if the prices are still a little bit too high, and they're having a very hard time sell those as well. So this is definitely not going to be limited to just Nvidia. And of course, there are market pressures sort of happening too. That's not just in the GPU space, but prices definitely are tanking very, very fast because one thing is true. Nobody wants to buy GPUs at all. Not gamers, not miners. And of course, this pretty much takes scalpers out of the general equation. Even I did a video recently where one GPU scalper supposedly lost a lot of money. I'm sure a lot of people did that held on to these GPUs hoping to resell them, probably caught them off guard how quickly the market dropped. It wasn't supposed to drop anywhere near this fast, but because of other pressures in the outside world, it definitely dropped a lot faster than we were expecting. So Nvidia probably sees a massive glut of GPUs in stock, and you don't think by the end of the year these GPUs are definitely not going to be sold. So they're either going to have to really slow down production or do something with the RTX 4000 launch, which can only indicate some type of delay. Now, there are two delays that I think likely will happen. First, they can just sort of do a paper launch. They can announce it as early as July or August, and then just sort of trickle out a couple of these GPUs as to not really affect the market at all. Of course, some early adopters probably will jump in and buy those GPUs. You'll be able to see reviews at how great they are compared to this generation. That's going to be a strategy that we've definitely seen before. At least they can say, look, the new generation is out. They're not as affected by many factors. They can sweep stuff under the rug, much like they did, saying that cryptocurrency mining wasn't as big of a factor when it really was, and they even got fined for it. So that's really objective truth right there. So they can do sort of a paper launch per se, release a couple in the wild, but not enough to affect sort of the sales to the general consumer, who still is going to have a lot of options available with cheaper RTX 3000 GPUs showing up. And then of course the second option is just to generally delay it, even considering an announcement, delay it so it's not really a paper launch, or even if it is a paper launch, delay it much later on in the year. That way, maybe there's some time for sort of the inventory to catch up in terms of the sales and the various different retailers. But I don't really think they have a very good option here, because at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot of stock of RTX 3000 GPUs that are in stores now, counting the GPUs that are going to be resold in the secondhand market. Let's say if crypto does continue to crash as badly as it is, you're going to see a lot of those GPUs hit the secondhand market, and combined with the retail GPUs currently in shelves, that's going to be an absolute tsunami of a GPU saturation in the market that we've never seen before, likely not even in 2017 and 18 when we had that initial crash where there were a lot of 10 series GPUs available on the market and the 20 series did not sell very well at all. We could be seeing a repeat of that, but probably even worse, because there are a lot more RTX 3000 GPUs probably in retail and waiting to be sold on the secondhand market. That's going to completely overshadow the RTX 4000, which of course is going to come in probably pretty expensive and low availability, because Nvidia would be pretty crazy to release a large amount. It's just going to completely invalidate all of the 3000 series GPUs still in the market. That's really going to make their resellers very, very upset, and Nvidia doesn't really want to take a loss and buy all those GPUs back. So they're definitely going to have to stagger this launch. I think it's probably going to make sense for them to do so, and that's going to mean for us as the consumer, we're just not going to have a chance to as easily buy the next generation. But I think for now, we're pretty much used to that, having a very hard time buying the newest GPUs. Good news is RTX 3000 is probably going to be pretty cheap, the cheapest that we've ever seen it, especially after RTX 4000 is announced. You can expect those prices to drop even further and availability to be even easier to acquire. So who knows, unless there's a major change upwards, and there always could be, things can be very sporadic, we're going to see the continued decrease of current prices of RTX 3000 and a really staggered and slow launch of RTX 4000. Some people will get a hold of them, but I think it's going to be difficult because it doesn't make sense for Nvidia to release them in a large amount considering how the market is now. If the market had been like it was at the end of last year, for example, then Nvidia could release as many of those as they want because the market was really hungry for GPUs. They would buy up anything that came out, including expensive 4090s and RTX 4000 GPUs. But now it's a completely different story, and it's just going to make it a very tricky launch, with likely not many being sold in the face of the massive amount of GPUs that we're going to have by the end of the year that are currently existing and not selling at all now. So let me know what you guys think. I know this makes the decision to buy now or wait even harder, but if you wait, definitely you're going to be getting better pricing on these GPUs because prices are tanking much faster than I think anybody expected. So remember to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys on the next video.